Introduce yourself and shout out your hometown.
What's up? I'm Jahsidiq. I'm from Pensacola, Florida.
How's your day been? How's your year been?
You know, my day has been nice because, I just got back into my car and I hadn't had that for a while. It's been interesting. My year, it's been a struggle, but I've learned a lot. Trying to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm getting better at that by doing it actively.
What are you most proud of yourself for accomplishing or doing in this year?
Me and my friends, we got in a van. We rented a van and drove out to Arkansas, and we did a show that we put together out there, and then went hiking. I'd never been in the mountains or anything like that. That was really cool. I had a bunch of mushrooms going out there too, so I was tripping pretty heavily. And I remember the timing of when we got to the peak of the hike was correlated with the peak of my trip, and it was just I breathed fresh air for the first time in a long time.
The first time I saw you live was at Miss Kathy Z's over, I think it was the summer.
Yeah.
The second time was at Easy Going with Lil Root, Ethan Amiri, and Hinduze, and you stuck out for sure. In your own words, why do you think that is, and what makes you you?
I'm not afraid to be myself. I really want to be felt, and when I perform, I don't have the backing tracks. A lot of people around here have the backing tracks. There's no problem with that, but it's I feel my presence is more there because everything you're hearing through the speakers is me projecting my voice and me giving you that raw energy.
Who and or what influences your music?
I would say this nature influences how I am all the time. My dogs, because they get me out and get me active a lot. What influences? My dad, he's always been a big influence to me because he's always worked hard. He's worked 40, 50 hours a week since he was 18 years old. He's supported our whole family. He's done a lot, sacrificed a lot. So he's a big inspiration. I just had a conversation with him yesterday that just boosted my energy.
Your first album, Rebirth, has 0 skips on it.
You think so?
I know so.
People call it an album. I don't call that an album just because of how I view albums. I'm able to, yes, get beats and compile something to where it is a cohesive thought, but I call that an EP or a mixtape because
that's fair.
My studio album, I want to sit in the studio with a producer and an engineer, and we're creating this from nothing,
Tell me about Rebirth coming together, the purpose and one of the most memorable moments you had while making it.
When I was making it, I was just making songs because I wanted to express myself. That's why I make music, so I can express myself. It wasn't until I made the last song that I had the title Rebirth in my head. When I made, I can't even think of the name of the last song, but the last song on there was the only thing that I had made whenever I had the title Rebirth. I was tripping a lot, if not tripping, microdosing on acid, and so it just seemed every time I would get a sense of self, I would lose it, but I got to be comfortable with that. In my life, I've held on to things too much, and I needed to learn to let things go and grow up, and that's the whole thought behind those tracks being together.
Golden Soul Warrior is my absolute favorite from that album. What is the meaning behind it?
Hey, you gotta get down. The meaning behind Golden Soul Warrior, we all have souls. All of our souls are golden. That's pure, and we all have a fight that we have to fight. Sometimes you have to be a warrior in order to get through certain things, So that's where that came from.
Do you consider yourself a philosopher?
I would say poet more than philosopher. I really do applaud myself on being able to write poetry because I wrote poetry and stories, fairy tales before I wrote rap music. I like writing.
You're really close with Jay Zen, and whenever I see you perform, he's right up there with you. What does friendship mean to you?
Friendship's everything. Friends are the family that you get to choose because you're born into your family, but it's if you don't consider your friends your family, I think you have the wrong friends. And that's where Golden Soul Dynasty came from. That's family. Anybody who's in the dynasty is my family.
When life is crazy, what brings you peace?
Weed. I smoke a lot of weed. I smoke a lot of weed. That is weed and my dogs. Those are in music. Those 3 things. If I didn't have that, I'd be insane.
What are you most looking forward to in 2023?
More shows. more peace, more of everything. Honestly, I want to work harder.
Lastly, thank anyone that you would like to thank.
Big shouts out to my mom. Shouts out to my dad, my brothers, my sisters, Jason, Lil Root, Stinky Pete, like everybody that I've met within the past year that has supported me. Thank everybody who's ever streamed my music. Anybody who's ever shared or clicked on something, like everybody, all that is appreciated.